I don't think you heard me.
Hey, what's up you guys? Matrox Gaming here and welcome to today's video. Now, I know I elaborated a little bit about Superman Prime in one of my previous videos talking about how strong Superman is, and that's the same video that I initially was going to just have it as me talking about Superman, but it slowly transitioned into me talking about how strong Superman is, so, you know, don't mind that. But it's actually quite funny how a lot of people don't seem to know about Superman Prime, so we'll discuss his origins and then we'll get into his power and abilities right after. So Superman Prime is the original Superman from the present timeline, except this story takes place a little further into the future. Basically what happens is Superman inevitably outlives all of his loved ones, his friends, family, everyone. So Superman falls into a depression and decides to leave the Earth to seek knowledge. He leaves behind some of his descendants to protect the Earth in his place during his travels. Now, as I've said in my previous video discussing Superman, he ends up getting to the Source Wall, which is basically the entire continuity of the DC universe. From how I personally perceived it, the source is basically the comic book writers, so breaking through it would pretty much mean breaking the fourth wall and becoming your own comic book writer. Anyway, Superman notices these beings on it, and what these beings are people who have attempted to hop over the source wall and have failed, leaving them trapped within it for all of eternity. Superman manages to break through the source wall and study under the source itself. He manages to also gain countless other abilities and knowledge from other beings, such as being able to bend and warp reality as he pleases. This is something that I didn't know of previously, but Superman basically learned and attained these new abilities and also the vast amount of knowledge in the span of 70,000 years. So yeah, as if Superman learning, traveling, and training for 70,000 years wasn't enough to show you how powerful he would be by this point, he takes all of this knowledge and newly learned powers to the center of the sun and trains there for an extra 15,000 years. Now, Superman taking a dip in the sun's surface already gives him a significant boost in power, so imagine all that knowledge and power he attained, and him going to the sun's core and decides to train and improve himself constantly for 15,000 years non-stop. This should just go to show exactly how ridiculous Superman became. This is the same Superman who lifted up 200 quintillion tons, held up the weight of the whole planet for 5 days straight and barely breaking a sweat, lifting up the book of infinite pages with Shazam, and lifted up the Spectre with Wonder Woman, a being literally made up of all of eternity. So yeah, Superman is already ridiculous enough with just those feats alone, so with the amount of power and skills he's learned, if all of that wasn't enough to show you Superman's power is limitless, then all of this should be the icing on the cake. The DC 1 million storyline doesn't specify all the powers Superman Prime has, but we do know that with the help of one of his descendants being a fifth dimensional imp, he was able to bring back Lois Lane with a godly body just like his, and was also to bring back Krypton and all of its inhabitants. Some people like to downplay his feats and say characters such as MUI Goku, Darkseid, and Galactus could still beat him, but I have to disagree and say it'll take characters like the Presence, the One Above All, and omnipotent characters like him to be able to take down Superman Prime. You may as well say Superman Prime at this point became way above multiversal due to the long journey and long training he's put himself through, because combined, that's about 85,000 years worth of training and experience he's gained, with 15,000 of those years being confirmed of him being at the sun's core. So that means he's constantly soaking up solar radiation and making himself constantly more and more powerful, and then commits himself to constant training on top of that. And if that's not enough, Superman Prime also has access to the last Green Lantern ring on top of that. And this Green Lantern ring was constantly being charged, so this also makes it the most powerful one to ever exist in the DC universe. So if the Green Lantern ring Superman Prime wields isn't enough to defeat you, there's all his training and experience that certainly will. At this point, fighting this guy wouldn't even be a fair fight. There's countless other superpowers that he may have, but I'm willing to take a wild guess and say he probably has access to the Speed Force for all we know. One can also speculate that his intelligence by this point far supersedes that of Batman, and he probably knows of superpowers similar to, if not the exact same as some of the other Justice League members. He probably wields magic at this point too, so defeating him with magic would probably be out of the question. Like, Dr. Fate could probably use a spell to replicate all the powers Superman Prime has, and Superman Prime could probably use some magic move that can buff himself up just to counter it. None of these are a for sure thing though, but I wouldn't doubt that in the 70,000 years of universal traveling, he probably did learn how to tap into all of these other powers. So to sum up everything in this video, Superman Prime is extremely overpowered. There's almost no one else who can fight this guy, as he is now on an omniversal level in power, with the only exception being characters like the Presence and the One Above All, and maybe a couple others who have been omnipotent since day one. But yeah, I think that just about covers everything in this video, all the major stuff anyway. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to drop me a like on this video, leave a comment down below on what you guys think and what other ideas for videos you'd like me to do next. I think the next power scaling videos will be on Batman and Reverse Flash, all the DC power scaling videos anyway. Also be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more. That's all for today guys, Make Trucks Gaming out, peace.